PlayStation has hundreds of games, but most of them forgettable. But there are 19 titles that do something you won't find anywhere else. I'm not talking about the obvious ones everyone's played. I'm talking about experiences that stick with you for years. Here are 19 PlayStation games everyone needs to play at least once. I ignored this for 2 years. Biggest mistake I've made in gaming. Prey is Arcane Studios, the Dishonored people, doing their absolute best work, and somehow it flew completely under the radar. You wake up on Talos 1, a space station orbiting the moon. Everyone's dead. Aliens called the Typhon have taken over, and here's the twist. They can mimic any object. That coffee mug could be a monster. That chair might kill you. The paranoia is genuinely unreal, but what makes Prey special is the freedom. You can hack systems, use alien powers to morph into objects and slip through gaps, or go full combat. There's a side quest about finding someone's Dungeons & Dragons character sheet. That's the detail here. Now here's the kicker, the neuromods. Every ability rewrites your brain and the station's security tracks it. Install too many alien powers. The turrets treat you like the enemy. Your choices have real consequences. No quest markers, no hand-holding. Just you piecing together what happened through emails and environmental clues. 40 to 50 hours if you explore everything, multiple endings based on your decisions. This sold so poorly we're never getting a sequel. If you missed it, fix that now. What if I told you the best level design in gaming exists in a game half of you probably skipped? Dishonored 2 is Arcane giving you the most creative assassination toolbox ever made, and you will break their levels in ways they never expected. You choose between Corvo, the assassin from the first game, or Emily, the rightful empress. They play completely differently. Corvo teleports and stops time. Emily links enemies, so killing one kills them all. The variety is insane, but here's what elevates this. There's a mission where you infiltrate a mansion that exists in 2 timelines. You have a device that lets you jump between past and present instantly. Guards closing in, hit the button. Different layout. I wasn't ready for how clever this was. Then there's the Clockwork Mansion. The building reconfigures with moving walls and hidden rooms. You're solving a 3D puzzle while avoiding detection. I've replayed that mission 7 times, found new routes every time. Here's the thing, it respects your playstyle. Goes through without kills. Possible. Murder everyone. Also valid. The chaos system changes the ending. Dialogue. How plague-ridden the world becomes. 20 to 30 hours, but you'll replay it immediately. If you love creative problem solving, this is mandatory. Nothing comes close. Stop thinking Yakuza is just Japanese GTA. That comparison does this series dirty. Yakuza 0 is so much better, and this is exactly where you need to start. We're in 1980s Japan, the bubble economy, neon everywhere, money flowing like water. You play Kiryu, a Yakuza framed for murder, and Majima, running a cabaret club as punishment. The tonal shifts are completely insane. Main story, dark crime drama, betrayal, honor, conspiracy. You will care about these characters. Then you'll do a side quest helping a dominatrix gain confidence or managing real estate. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen in a game. Combat is incredibly satisfying. 3 fighting styles you switch instantly. Brawler for crowds, rush for speed, beast for picking up bicycles and smashing people. Heat moves slam faces into walls. It's visceral and ridiculous. But here's what hooked me. The world. Karaoke that's unironically amazing. Arcades with full Sega games. Pocket circuit racing. Hostess clubs. Disco. Fishing. It never ends. Now here's the kicker. 60 to 100 hours and every activity rewards you. Even goofy side quests unlock useful abilities. Start here. Once it hooks you, you'll binge the entire series. I did. This is essential. You loved Yakuza but want something completely different. Same studio, same engine, totally new vibe. You're not a Yakuza anymore. You're a disgraced lawyer turned detective solving murders in Kamurocho. The story is a legal thriller meets noir detective mystery. You're investigating a serial killer case that gets darker the deeper you dig. The twist genuinely shocked me multiple times. I wasn't ready for where this goes. But here's what makes Judgment special. The detective work actually feels like detective work. You're tailing suspects through crowds, picking locks, analyzing crime scenes, finding evidence. It's not just cutscenes. You're doing the investigation. Combat is classic Yakuza. 2 fighting styles, brutal heat actions, environmental destruction, but the investigation segments between action keep the pacing perfect. It never drags. Now here's the kicker. Takuya Kimura, one of Japan's biggest actors, plays the lead. His performance elevates everything. This feels like a premium TV drama, not just a game. 30 to 40 hours packed with side cases that are legitimately engaging. Every detective mission has real detective work. If you want Yakuza's world with a completely different story structure, this is essential. Here's a warning, Disco Elysium has zero combat. You solve a murder case entirely through dialogue and skill checks. And somehow, it's one of the best RPGs ever made. I will die on this hill. You're a detective who woke up with complete amnesia after a 3-day bender. You don't remember your name, your past, anything. There's a dead body hanging in a tree to investigate. The writing is genuinely some of the best I've seen in any medium. But here's what makes this insane. Your thoughts argue with each other. Your ancient reptilian brain tells you to punch people. Inland Empire makes you see things that might not be real. Logic tries to keep you grounded. These aren't just stats. They're characters having conversations in your head. Every dialogue choice matters. You can be a communist, a fascist, an art cop, a rock star detective. The game tracks everything and reacts. The roleplay depth is unmatched. Now here's the kicker. This was made by about 20 people in Estonia, and it beat ARA Games at their own game. Fully voice acted in the final cut. Every single line. 20 to 30 hours of pure dialogue and investigation. If you want something that treats you like an adult, play this immediately. I bounced off the first Neo because it felt too hard. Then Neo 2 came out and I gave it another shot. Now I've put 150 hours into it. This is the best combat system in any action game, period. You're a half yokai warrior in feudal Japan, fighting through historical events mixed with demon mythology. The story surprised me, but let's be honest, you're here for the combat. This makes Dark Souls look slow. You're managing stamina, switching between 3 weapon stances on the fly, countering with burst counters, transforming into yokai forms. The skill ceiling is absurd. When you master it, you feel unstoppable. But here's what hooked me. The build variety. Dual swords and magic, axe and heavy armor, kusarigama with ninjutsu. Every weapon feels completely different. I've done 6 playthroughs with different builds. All felt fresh. Now here's the kicker. You can create custom missions and share them. The community has made thousands of challenges. Endless content beyond the main game. 40 to 60 hours for the story, but post-game is where it gets crazy. New Game Plus adds new enemies, gear, mechanics. This is for people who want a real challenge. If you love technical combat, this is perfection. Nothing else feels like it. This game messed with my head in ways I didn't expect. Control is Remedy making a supernatural action game, and it's genuinely unlike anything else on PlayStation. You're Jesse Faden, new director of the Federal Bureau of Control, a secret agency investigating paranormal events. The entire building, the oldest house, is a reality-bending nightmare. Rooms move, gravity stops working, nothing makes sense. The combat is incredible, shape-shifting gun and telekinetic powers. You're throwing desks at enemies, levitating while shooting, mind-controlling soldiers. It feels like being a superhero in the best way. But here's what makes Control special: the atmosphere. Brutalist architecture meets Twilight Zone. Environmental storytelling through documents, videos, audio logs builds this unsettling world. I was genuinely creeped out exploring certain areas. Here's the kicker: the Ultimate Edition includes both DLC expansions, which add massive areas and tie into Alan Wake 2. Remedy is building a connected universe, and it's all here. 15 to 25 hours for everything, runs beautifully on PS5 with ray tracing. If you want weird atmospheric action, this is mandatory. The art direction alone is worth it. I'm going to say something that sounds insane. Outer Wilds is one of the best games ever made, and I can't tell you anything about it. Going in blind is absolutely essential. You're an alien astronaut exploring a tiny solar system stuck in a 22-minute time loop. Every 22 minutes, the sun explodes and you start over. But here's the thing, you keep your knowledge. This isn't an action game. This is pure exploration and discovery. The feeling of piecing together this mystery genuinely changed how I think about game design. Every planet has secrets. Every location connects to another. You're building this mental map of how everything fits together, and when it finally clicks, it's pure magic. But here's what broke me: the ending. I sat there staring at my screen for 10 minutes after it finished. No game has ever hit me emotionally like that. It's beautiful, melancholic, and absolutely perfect. Here's the kicker: it's only 15 to 20 hours. Short, but every single minute matters. Zero filler. Pure concentrated brilliance that respects your time. Do not look up spoilers. Do not watch videos, just play it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Trust me, nothing comes close. Ever wanted existential horror that messes with your head for weeks after finishing? Soma is from Frictional Games, the Amnesia people. But this isn't just jump scares. This is psychological terror. You're Simon, and you wake up in an underwater research facility. Everyone's gone. Machines think they're human, and you start questioning everything about consciousness and identity. The story goes places I genuinely wasn't ready for. The horror isn't about monsters chasing you, though that happens. It's about the choices you make. There's a moment where you decide if a copy of a person is still that person. Do you kill them? Let them suffer. The game doesn't judge, it just asks. But here's what haunts me. The ending presents impossible choices. No good option. Just different shades of horrifying. I thought about it for days afterward. Couldn't shake it. Here's the kicker. There's a safe mode where monsters don't attack. You can experience the story without the stress. It's genuinely thoughtful design that respects different playstyles. 10 to 12 hours of pure atmosphere and philosophical horror. If you've ever wondered what it means to be human, play this. It will mess you up in the best way. I almost didn't include this because it's so short. Then I remembered I smiled more playing this than any other game on this list. A Short Hike is pure joy in video game form. You're a little bird named Claire hiking up a mountain to get cell phone reception. That's it. That's the whole setup. And somehow, it's one of the most charming experiences on PlayStation. The world is tiny but packed with personality. Every character you meet has something sweet or funny to say. You're collecting golden feathers to fly higher, finding hidden trails, playing mini-games, helping people with small problems. It's cozy gaming perfection. But here's what surprised me. The writing is genuinely great. These NPCs feel real. They've got hopes, worries, little stories. One character talks about missing their family. Another just wants to fish. It's all so human and relatable. Here's the kicker. You can beat it in 2 hours. But I spent 5 just exploring and talking to everyone. Because why rush something this pleasant? If you're burned out on stressful games and need something that feels like a warm hug, play this immediately. It's genuinely healing. Trust me on this. Inscription looks like a deck building card game. It is absolutely not just a deck building card game. This is one of the wildest, most creative things I've played, and I can't explain why without ruining it. You're trapped in a cabin playing cards against a mysterious dealer. The cards are creatures you sacrifice to summon stronger ones. It's dark, creepy, genuinely unsettling. Then it goes completely off the rails in ways I never saw coming. The meta narrative here is insane. The game breaks its own rules repeatedly. Genre shifts happen out of nowhere. Nothing is what it seems. I was genuinely shocked multiple times, and I rarely get shocked by games anymore. But here's what makes it brilliant. The card game itself is addictive. Building your deck, discovering broken combos, unlocking secrets. Even without the crazy story, the mechanics are incredibly solid. Here's the kicker. It's made by Daniel Mullins, who made Pony Island. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're in for something genuinely special. 8 to 12 hours of pure creativity and surprises. Do not look up spoilers, just play it and let it surprise you. This is essential for anyone who loves games that take real risks. Imagine playing through a martial arts revenge movie where you're the kung fu master. Sifu is a beat 'em up that feels like the coolest thing you've ever played, and it only gets better with practice. The hook? You age every time you die. Die too many times and it's game over for good. Every level is a gauntlet where you're mastering combat, learning enemy patterns, perfecting parry timing. When you nail a level with minimal deaths, it feels incredible. But here's what surprised me. The depth is wild. You're not just button mashing. High attacks, low attacks, sweeps, parries, environmental takedowns, weapons that break. Every encounter is a choreographed fight scene you're directing in real time. The structure is brutal too. 5 levels, permadeath with aging. Every death makes you older. Get too old and it's game over. You're replaying levels trying to minimize deaths, learning enemy patterns, getting better. The visuals are clean as hell. Martial arts animations look incredible. When you're in the zone chaining perfect parries, it feels like you're in a kung fu movie. Here's the kicker. It's only 5 hours to beat, but mastering it takes way longer. The skill ceiling is high. Chasing better runs, lower ages, perfect executions. If you love fast action and actually getting better at games, this is essential, pure martial arts style. The entire game looks like an old Macintosh computer. 1-bit graphics. black and white, and it's one of the most brilliant detective games ever made. I will die on this hill. You're an insurance investigator in 1807. A ship called the Obra Dinn returned to port with all 60 crew members dead or missing. You have a magical pocket watch that lets you witness the moment of each person's death. Your job, figure out what happened to everyone. The deduction here is incredible. You're piecing together identities through accents, uniforms, conversations, where people were standing. There's absolutely no hand-holding. The game doesn't tell you if you're right until you've identified 3 people correctly. It respects your intelligence completely. But here's what broke me: the satisfaction of solving it. When you finally figure out that one crew member's identity after hours of thinking, it feels amazing. Pure detective work with no shortcuts. Here's the kicker. It's made by Lucas Pope, who made Papers, Please. One guy made this entire masterpiece. The attention to detail is genuinely insane. 8 to 12 hours of pure mystery solving. If you love detective work and logic puzzles, this is mandatory. Nothing else feels remotely like it. This started as a Skyrim mod, now it's a full game, and it's genuinely one of the smartest time loop stories I've experienced. This deserves way more attention than it got. You're trapped in an ancient Roman city with 26 people. There's one rule: if anyone sins, everyone turns to gold statues. The golden rule, and someone always breaks it. You've got one day to figure out who and stop them before everyone dies. Then you loop back and try again. But here's what makes this special: the writing is exceptional. These aren't just NPCs, they're fully realized characters with motivations, secrets, relationships. You genuinely care about saving them. I got emotionally invested. The time loop mechanics are clever too. Knowledge carries over. Items carry over if you hide them. You're using information from previous loops to progress further each time. It's all about exploration and smart conversation choices. Here's the kicker: there are 4 completely different endings based on your choices, not slight variations, entirely different conclusions that change the meaning of everything you experience. 6 to 10 hours for one playthrough, but you'll want to see the other endings. If you love smart dialogue and mystery, play this immediately. Criminally underrated. This looks like a cute Zelda clone. It is absolutely not. This is one of the most devious, brilliant puzzle games disguised as an action-adventure, and I was genuinely shocked by what it hides. You're a little fox exploring ruins with a sword and shield. Classic top-down adventure gameplay, except the entire game is written in a fake language you can't read. You find pages of an in-game instruction manual that teach you mechanics, but they're partially in English, partially in symbols. Here's where it gets insane. The manual pages contain secrets, hidden codes, puzzle solutions hidden in the margins. You're not just playing the game, you're solving a meta puzzle about how the game works. I filled an actual notebook with theories and diagrams. The combat is tough too, Souls-like difficulty where positioning and timing matter, but the real challenge is understanding what the game wants from you. Some puzzles had me stuck for hours until it finally clicked. Here's the kicker: there's an entire secret ending most people never find. It requires solving puzzles completely outside the game. Pen and paper stuff that goes beyond the screen. 12 to 20 hours depending on how deep you go. If you love mysteries and don't mind taking notes, this is essential. Pure brilliance. A murder mystery set in the 16th century Bavaria where you play as a manuscript illustrator shouldn't work this well, but Pentiment is genuinely one of the most unique narrative experiences on PlayStation, and it haunted me for weeks. You're Andreas Mahler, an artist working in a monastery when murders start happening. You investigate, accuse someone, and live with the consequences. But here's the twist: the game spans 25 years. You see how your choices ripple through generations. Characters age, children grow up, people die. It's devastating. The art style is incredible. Everything looks like an illuminated manuscript from the period. The text changes fonts based on who's speaking. Monks get Gothic script. Nobles get fancy calligraphy. It's all historically accurate and beautiful. But here's what broke me: there's no right answer. You never know for certain who the killer is. You make your best guess with incomplete information, and innocent people might die because of your choice. That weight stays with you. Here's the kicker: this was directed by Josh Sawyer from Obsidian. The guy who made Fallout New Vegas made a narrative game about medieval manuscripts, and it's brilliant. 15 to 20 hours of pure storytelling. If you love history and moral complexity, this is essential. Nothing else feels like it. You know that feeling when you say, just one more run, and suddenly it's 4 AM? Slay the Spire is the reason I've lost entire weekends. This is the deck building roguelike that basically created the genre, and it's still the best. You pick one of 4 characters, each with completely different playstyles. You climb a spire, fighting enemies, and building your deck with cards you find. Every run is different. Every decision matters. The synergies you can create are absolutely wild, but here's what makes this special. It's pure strategy. No luck, just skill and planning. Do you take the powerful card that doesn't fit your build, or the mediocre card that synergizes perfectly? Do you remove cards to thin your deck or add more options? The depth here is staggering. I've put 200 hours in and I'm still discovering new combos. Streamer communities have spent thousands of hours optimizing strategies. The skill ceiling is genuinely insane. Here's the kicker. Runs are 30 to 60 minutes. Perfect length. You can play one run or lose an entire day. It respects your time while being infinitely replayable. Hundreds of hours of content if it hooks you. And it will. If you've never played a deck builder, start here. This is the gold standard. Nothing comes close. Want to log on, turn your brain off, and blow stuff up with friends while screaming about democracy? Helldivers 2 is that game, and it's absolutely glorious. You're an elite soldier dropping onto hostile planets to fight bugs and robots in the name of Super Earth. It's satirical, over the top, and knows exactly what it is. The propaganda is hilariously dystopian, and you're just spreading managed democracy one airstrike at a time. But here's what makes it special: the chaos. Everything can go wrong at any moment. Your teammate accidentally calls an airstrike on your position. Someone drops their ammo. A giant bug bursts from underground and everyone scatters. It's controlled mayhem. The stories you create are better than anything scripted. I've had moments where we barely escaped with one person alive, crawling to the extraction while the planet exploded behind us. It's incredible. Here's the kicker. The live service model is genuinely fair. Battle passes don't expire. You earn premium currency by playing. New content drops constantly, and it's only $40. The value is absurd. Unlimited hours of co-op chaos. Whether you're doing tactical extractions or accidentally team killing with orbital lasers, Helldivers 2 delivers pure fun. Democracy doesn't spread itself. If you only play one game from this entire list, make it Bloodborne. This is From Software's masterpiece, and I'm not exaggerating. This is the best game on PlayStation, period. You're a hunter in Yharnam, a Victorian Gothic city plagued by a curse that turns people into beasts. The atmosphere is oppressive, terrifying, and absolutely beautiful. Every area drips with environmental storytelling and dread. The combat is faster than Dark Souls, no shields. You dodge, you attack aggressively, and you rally. Hit enemies back after taking damage to regain health. It rewards aggression and punishes hesitation. When you master it, you feel unstoppable. But here's what makes Bloodborne unforgettable: the world design and lore. This starts as beast hunting and transforms into cosmic horror. The revelations in the second half genuinely shocked me. I wasn't ready for where this story goes. Here's the kicker. It's a PS4 game stuck at 30 frames per second. Sony refuses to give it a PS5 update, and it's still absolutely worth playing despite that. The art direction, the boss fights, the interconnected world design, nothing matches this. 40 to 60 hours with the DLC. If you want the definitive PlayStation experience, this is it. Essential doesn't even cover it. This is mandatory gaming. So there you have it, 19 PlayStation games that everyone needs to experience at least once. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these have you played? Which ones are you adding to your list? Drop it in the comments. And if this helped you find your next obsession, a like and subscribe would mean everything. Alright, go play something amazing. I'll see you in the next one.